And a quick piece of breaking news coming in as we begin the show today. Ajit Doval has just been confirmed for a third term as India's National Security Advisor. Ajit Doval is 79 years old. He has already served 2 terms with the Prime Minister as the National Security Advisor. His term has just been extended, so he will be the National Security Advisor in the Modi 3.0 government as well. Ajit Doval, who is a former intelligence officer, has been the National Security Advisor of Prime Minister Modi's government since 2014, and he has just been extended now as National Security Advisor. Manjeet Negi joins us live for more. Manjeet, third term for Ajit Doval.
Well, sir, as you know, Ajit Doval is called eyes and ear of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is 1960 batch IPS officer, and this is third term given by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And the NSA has the National Security Council is headed by the Mr. Ajit Doval, whose main job to advise the Prime Minister on the issue related to national security, internal and external security, and also it was stated in 1998. And whether it's Article 370 and surgical strike, Doklam, many issues related to national security handled by the Ajit Doval.
Okay, Manjeet, thanks very much. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval has been extended for a third term. He's spent a decade already as National Security Advisor in this government, and he's now been extended for a third term. Munish Pandey is joining us live for more on this. Munish, Ajit Doval is 79 years old. He's just been confirmed for a third term. Interesting time for that extension to come at a time when, many security challenges face the new Modi government. Take us through the decisions. It looks like continuity in these senior key positions is the order of the day.
Well, certainly, Shiv, this is a very important decision as far as the government is concerned, and what it also indicates that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has again reposed his faith and trust on NSA Ajit Doval, who has been the NSA of this country from last 1 decade. Also, what we have seen in past 10 years is that Mr. Doval has been someone who has not only been involved in relationship with other countries, but also he is someone who has monitored not only internal security of the country, but also he is someone who has been involved in several operations. He is someone who is not only trusted by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but also by several senior officials who are in the intelligence department, and that is why we are seeing this order by the Narendra Modi government. And what we are seeing in the order is till the time there is a further order, he will be the National Security Advisor of this country. Shiv.
Reposing faith in the National Security Advisor for the third time, Prime Minister Modi has chosen to keep Ajit Doval as the National Security Advisor in the Modi 3.0 government as well. Thanks very much, Munish, for putting that into perspective for us. And as always, the National Security Advisor has a lot on his plate with everything that's happening in Jammu. There is the Manipur situation and many other security challenges that India currently faces. Of course, the situation in Ladakh with China as well is the biggest of them all. So, as always, in the best traditions of the National Security Advisor's office, he has his hands full and he has another term now to execute. So Doval continues as India's National Security Advisor. And we've got more breaking news coming in. A non-bailable warrant has been issued against former Karnataka Chief Minister BS Yediyurappa of the BJP in connection with a POCSO case. Now, Yediyurappa stands accused of molesting a 17-year-old girl. Yediyurappa has protested that these charges are a conspiracy to defame him and to entangle him in a case that he cannot get out of. He's also applied for anticipatory bail, for which a hearing will come tomorrow. He also asked for a switch in the dates where he needs to appear before the investigating committee, but a non-bailable warrant has now been issued against the BJP strongman and former Chief Minister of Karnataka, BS Yediyurappa. And let's go across to our reporters. Sagai Raj and Nagarjun Dwarkanath are with us live. Naga, to you first. A non-bailable warrant being issued in a POCSO case against Yediyurappa. You had the Home Minister of Karnataka saying, an arrest can happen. With this non-bailable warrant, is an arrest inevitable? Take us through what the options are.
In fact, the legal experts are saying that the arrest should have been done much before as well, because considering it's a POCSO case, any POCSO case, the arrest will happen immediately. But considering how the complainant has filed 60-odd cases against all influential IPS officers, politicians, and termed to be a habitual complainant against powerful people, so there was a sense of suspicion initially, in fact. But I just spoke to the lawyer of Yediyurappa, Mr. Sandeep Patil. He's saying that this is clear-cut political vendetta because Rahul Gandhi was summoned to Bengaluru on a defamation case filed by BJP. That is the reason now the government has woken up and approached the court on a non-bail and got a non-bailable warrant against Yediyurappa. Most likely he might be arrested is what the police sources are saying. Tomorrow the hearing of Yediyurappa will come up in High Court on anticipatory bail as well as the quashing of the FIR under CRPC 482. That will be the big update for Yediyurappa tomorrow. But if at all he gets arrested before 2:30, the anticipatory bail will automatically collapse because his arrest is already done. He will have to go through the regular bail plea then. As of now, he's in Delhi. The BJP and the advocate of Yediyurappa are saying that this is political vendetta, nothing else, that Rahul Gandhi came to Bangalore, hence Yediyurappa is being targeted. But to put away all the political angles, the legal opinion is that POCSO case arrest is imminent.
Okay, so tit-for-tat use of law and order is what is being alleged right now. Vendetta politics and conspiracy politics is what Yediyurappa is alleging. The complainant in this case, as Naga reports, has filed similar charges against many influential people in power as well. But the charges are serious, and that's why the law enforcement machinery must act accordingly. Sagai Raj is also live with us. Sagai, the Home Minister, the vendetta issue aside, the Home Minister of Karnataka has also said, if wrongdoing is established, then an arrest can happen. It doesn't matter who Mr. Yediyurappa is. It's looking possible that an arrest might actually happen. Like Naga said, the anticipatory bail is where all of this will finally hinge. Mr. Yediyurappa also has sought time to appear, but is it possible that things might move quickly now towards a possible arrest?
Absolutely, and if you notice the statement of G. Parameshwara when this particular case was registered, that was on March 15, he said that the complainant is mentally retarded and she has registered 60-odd complaints against influential people, as Nagarjun was telling. And if you notice today's statement, it is quite contrast to the statement that he has made on that day, where he clearly says that it is an investigating process where the CIT have to file the charge sheet, because whenever you register a complaint within 3 months, they have to file a charge sheet, and it is close to 3 months, and they are about to do their duty, and that is one of the reasons that the CID is have applied for a non-bailable warrant against BS Yediyurappa, and if it is required, he will get arrested. And Shiv, if you need to understand the seriousness of POCSO case. If there is any kind of POCSO case which has been registered against anybody, the arrest has been made immediately. They don't get any kind of immunity when it comes to these kind of POCSO case. But in these many years, I have seen only BS Yediyurappa got away in this kind of cases, and even at that point of time, government did not make any noise. Even the ministers as well as the MLAs within the government did not talk about BS Yediyurappa.
But Sagai, has anyone else been arrested in the allegations made by the complainant in this case? Naga was telling us that similar complaints have been made by a variety of influential people or people in power. Has anyone been arrested so far?
if you see the special public prosecutor's argument in the court, initially we thought it was only BS Yediyurappa who has involved in the case. But the public prosecutor has categorically mentioned that there is accused number 2 and accused number 3, where they even tried to bribe the woman, the mother of the victim, up to 2 lakh rupees. And when she refused to accept that money, they forcefully kept the money to her and said that you can keep this as a loan and you can return whenever you want. So, according to the public prosecutor, there are 2 more accused who try to influence the complainant as well as delete the evidence. They will try to delete the video that she has recorded, which has already gone viral on social media, uploaded by her mother. So far, we don't have any information about the arrest, but there are more accused involved with this. The accused are the close associate of BS Yediyurappa, who try to influence the complainant as well as try to destroy the evidence which was recorded in her mobile phone. So far, the Home Minister have not spoken about the other accused, or the investigating officers have not spoken about it. But only in the hearing inside the court, we get to learn that there are more people involved in this apart from BS Yediyurappa.
Okay, Sagai and Naga, thanks very much for that. As you can see, it's begun to rain in Bengaluru, some respite from the summer. But here's what Home Minister Parameshwara has just told India today about the possibility of Yediyurappa's arrest.
ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅವರಿಗೆ 15ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಒಳಗಾಗಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಅಷ್ಟರೊಳಗಡೆ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಅವರನ್ನು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ಸ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಿಲ್ಲ.
ಜಾಮೀನು ರಹಿತ ವಾರಂಟ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಜಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡೋದು ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪೊಲೀಸ್ನವ್ರು ಮಾಡೋದು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ನವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕವಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ.
ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ,
ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು SITನವರು. ಅವರಿಗೆ अगत्य ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದರೂ ಅನಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
येडियुरप्पा के बारे में क्या है, उनके SIT समन्स दिया है, तो उसके बारे में
CID has summoned him multiple times and they have filed an application seeking for his arrest warrant. Sir, how do you react to it?
Well, it is a question of law. Law will take its own course.
So India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval has just been extended for a 3rd term, and his immediate focus is going to be the very, very troubling escalation in terror attacks in the Jammu sector. The terror attack started with Riyasi just hours before the Modi 3.0 government was sworn in, where Pakistan-sponsored terrorists attacked pilgrims in a bus. Then terrorists targeted Kathua and now Doda. A policeman was injured on Wednesday in another encounter between terrorists and security forces in Doda. Meanwhile, the police has released sketches of 4 terrorists suspected to be roaming in the upper reaches of Bhadarwa, Thatri and Gando areas. A bounty of 20 lakh rupees has been announced. Here's the full story from the ground.
Four terror attacks in 30 hours. Terror continues to target Jammu. Constable Farid Ahmed, posted with the Special Operations Group or SOG in Doda District's Gando, was injured after terrorists opened fire at the police station. The attack resulted in a fierce exchange of fire and came just hours after 5 soldiers and a police officer were injured after a checkpost of the Jammu and Kashmir police and Rashtriya Rifles was attacked by terrorists.
कल रात को जब हमारे नाके ने चेकिंग शुरू की थी और साथ ही साथ जो हमारे संतरी हैं उन्होंने जब सस्पिशियस थोड़ी मूवमेंट देखी तो उसको चैलेंज किया. उस चैलेंज के बाद में वहां से फायर आया. फायर का फिर एक्सचेंज होता रहा. अराउंड 1 आवर 1.5 आवर तक एक्सचेंज ऑफ फायर चलता रहा. हमारे जो जवान हैं आर्मी के और पुलिस के, दोनों ने इसमें डट के मुकाबला किया है और उस इलाके को आज के डेट में अभी के टाइम पे हम लोगों ने सर्च करना शुरू कर दिया है।
Search operations continue across Doda after 2 gun battles. Roughly 200 kilometers away in Kathua, another encounter that began late Tuesday night ended with one CRPF brave making the supreme sacrifice of his life. Security agencies say there are 4 terrorists who are suspected to be hiding in the upper reaches of Badarwa and Gando. A bounty of 20 lakh rupees has now been announced. The back-to-back attacks have sent ripples of fear through Jammu, that's fast becoming the hotbed of cross-border terrorism. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviewed the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir. The Prime Minister instructed that the full spectrum of counter-terror operations must be undertaken. The attacks have resulted in protests across the Jammu region, and the opposition is targeting the Narendra Modi government on the security aspect.
The security establishment is quite confident that they will be able to combat terrorism, they will be able to deal with this new wave of terrorism. But challenge is huge because these terrorists are hiding in caves and in different parts, and they are also receiving support from their overground workers in the hilly belt of Jammu region. The security establishment and the government agencies are working round the clock in order to formulate a new strategy so that these terrorists don't succeed in their nefarious designs. With video journalist Neeraj Kumar, this is Sunil Bhatt reporting from Jammu for India Today.
The huge spike in airfare prices, the prohibitive passenger costs for people who take flights every day has become a huge concern in summer holiday season, especially. Well, new aviation minister Ram Mohan Naidu of the Telugu Desam party says he's cracking the whip on rising airfares. The newly sworn-in civil aviation minister today said that he aims to make air travel much more affordable to the common man and woman by addressing airfare fluctuations. He also said, and I quote, want to make airways the new railways. I'm going to play out for you exactly what he said in full in an exclusive conversation with India Today. Ram Mohan Naidu, the new civil aviation minister, has said airfares being this fluctuated is unacceptable. Here's what he said. Average air ticket prices in India have spiked 9% in the first quarter of 2024. 9%. Airfares on major domestic routes like Kolkata, Bagdogra, Delhi, Bengaluru, Delhi, Mumbai have witnessed an increase of up to 12.7% year on year. Here's what Ram Mohan Naidu, the new civil aviation minister, told India Today.
Air prices in the past few years, specifically during the COVID period, has gone, fluctuated a lot. Will that be a big priority for you?
Yes, that's what I'm hearing from all sectors of this industry, and also the common man also. He has been a little bit worried about the prices because he's now wanting to travel by air, but something which is restricting him is the prices. So definitely whatever policy making we are going to do, we are going to keep that as a concern, keep that as an issue. We want to address it. We want to bring in more people into this air travel, this thing. So we want to make airways the new railways of this country, and that's a huge challenge. Now the market scenarios or the other external factors, COVID, so a lot of different factors have made in improving the prices. So we have to sit down, the department has to sit down, and whenever that thing is happening, my intention or my priority would be from the people of this country that to bring down the prices, and I would sit down with that point of view.
I want to go across to Karishma Asudani joining us live. She's our correspondent from Business Today. Karishma, the civil aviation minister obviously has a lot on his hands. Airfare prices is just one aspect of it, but he chose to specifically make that public assurance that this was going to be one of his priority areas. How difficult is that going to be, Karishma?
Shiv, it's a very enthusiastic statements that's coming from our young minister, and definitely he's trying to catch the whip out of this, but it's going to be difficult because the sector is deregulated. As we understand, airfares are not decided by a mere policy, but they are completely dependent on the demand and supply curve. This is something that was also earlier raised by a parliamentary panel early this year before the budget session began, where a big point of contention was if airfares could be brought down to a price that's affordable. But as you understand, airlines have shared across that they would want to do it, but it's not in their hands. Now, two ways out for Mr. Young Naidu to take this forward is, one, either he will have to take this up with the Ministry of Finance to reduce the ATF prices, because if you're going to bring the fuel down, then automatically you'll bring the airfares to a stable level. Or second, we may have to look at a reverse policy mechanism, try and put some price caps on some commercial routes which are well traveled by Indians.
All right, Karishma, thanks very much for that update. It's good to see that at least the Civil Aviation Minister is cognizant of this problem. Let's see how successful he is in actually dealing with it. We've got some related breaking news coming in on the civil aviation sector that affects passengers. News coming in that Rajya Sabha MP and Shiv Sena leader Milind Deora has shot off a letter to the new Civil Aviation Minister on the Mumbai airport near miss recently involving Indigo and Air India flights. In this video that went viral just a few days ago on the 10th of June, an Indigo flight was seen landing just barely 500 meters behind an Air India aircraft that was on its takeoff roll, completely a violation of safety procedures. The air traffic control staff have been derostered. An inquiry has been ordered by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation. Milind Deora has just written a letter calling for the new Civil Aviation Minister to give this his attention, because he says that runway congestion is posing a severe threat to passenger safety. He's asked the DGCA to initiate a complete inquiry. That, of course, has already happened. The video that you see on your screen has been shared millions of times across the world. The Indigo flight has that landed just behind that Air India flight on the very same runway. The safety separation margins was completely violated. Indigo has said that they had permission to land. They were cleared to land. The Air India has not issued a statement, but the air traffic controllers at the Mumbai airport have been derostered. So who was wrong? Where did the violation or the lapse actually occur? Could this have been a catastrophic runway collision? If things were even a slight bit different. Mustafa Sheikh is with me live from Mumbai for more on this. Mustafa, what action has been taken so far? Inquiry is already on this near miss at the Mumbai airport. Milind Deora has written a letter to the Civil Aviation Minister as well. Where does the investigation stand as to how this happened?
Well, Shiv, as of now, what is clear is that both Indigo and Air India have clarified that they were just following the instructions that were given to them by ATC. So it seems that it's the ATC officials who have, not followed the laid down procedures, and hence the Airport Authority of India has also said that these SOPs should be followed. Remember, there are airports who are functioning differently at different places. In Mumbai, the airports follow something called as the time spacing, which means that a time-based spacing has been kept between one aircraft taking off and the other aircraft landing. And these at some places these are distance-based, also distance-based. But in Mumbai, it's time-space management which is done, and that it seems that somewhere was not done by the ATC officials, and hence this incident was seen. Milind Deora has written to the Aviation Ministry, and he is saying that serious cognizance should be taken of this incident, because there's a lot of traffic congestion on the airports like Mumbai, the standard operating procedures cannot be taken for granted, and hence a detailed investigation is required so that such an incident doesn't take place. It's true that there is another new airport in Mumbai which is in making. Yes. The already existing Terminal 2 and Terminal 1 are somewhat what we can say under. There is a lot of what you can say air traffic happening on the existing terminals. But at the same point, the safety has to be paramount. And Milind Devra has reminded the ministry that this investigation should basically make sure that such an incident is not repeated. Back to you.
Okay, Mustafa, thanks very much for getting us that update. So the air traffic controller, it looks like, was at fault here. What further action will be taken? Because this impinges on the lives of passengers. God forbid if the margin of separation was smaller than it was, it could have led to a true disaster. Thankfully, that didn't happen, but it has to be ensured that it never ever comes close to anything of this kind ever again. Thanks, Mustafa, for joining us on that. Meanwhile, a truly tragic story, but one where accountability needs to be fixed. 43 Indian citizens have lost their lives in a tragic fire in Kuwait yesterday morning, which we reported to you. Prime Minister Modi has not only condoled the incident and announced an ex gratia relief for the families of the Indian nationals that died in the fire. A Minister of State has been rushed to Kuwait to help. Take a look at this report.
A deadly fire tragedy in Kuwait and a heart-wrenching tragedy for India. More than 40 Indian migrant workers perished in the devastating fire. The fire tore through a building housing migrant workers in the southern Kuwait city of Maghaf early Wednesday morning.
The building is there where the accident happened around 4:30 to 5 o'clock, and around 195 people were there in the building, and most of them were evacuated. Around 49 people have been reported dead. 43 have been in serious condition in various hospitals in Kuwait. So this is at present what is happening here.
أعداد الوفيات جاري حصرها هي العشرات، يعني تقدر أكثر من 40 شخص مع الأسف. جاري حصرها أن هناك حالات تم نقلها كإصابات، لكن هي في العناية المركزة في بعض المستشفيات. ما نقدر نصرح حاليا لين إتمام وإعداد التقرير الفني النهائي ويسلم لجهات التحقيق والسلطة القضائية.
Majority of the victims are from Kerala. Their families are devastated.
രഞ്ജിത്ത് 10 വർഷക്കാലമായി കുവൈറ്റിലെ ഈ കമ്പനിയിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. കാറ്ററിംഗ് കമ്പനിയിലെ ഇലക്ട്രിക്കൽ വർക്കുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടാണ് ആദ്യം പോയത്. ഇവിടെ രഞ്ജിത്ത് ഈ അപകടത്തിൽ പെട്ടു എന്നുള്ള വിവരം ഇന്നലെ രാവിലെ തന്നെ കിട്ടിയിരുന്നു.
ഇന്ന് വെളുപ്പിനെ 2:00 കൂടിയാണ് സംഭവം സ്ഥിരീകരിക്കപ്പെട്ടത്. കുവൈറ്റിലാണ് അച്ഛനും ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹം പോയി മോർച്ചറി പോയി മൃതദേഹം കാണുകയും തിരിച്ചറിയുകയും ചെയ്തു. പയ്യൻ പോയിട്ട് ഇപ്പം ജൂൺ 5-ാം തീയതിയാണ് പോയത്. ഒരു ബുധനാഴ്ച പോയി, അടുത്ത ബുധനാഴ്ചയാണ് ഈ ദാരുണമായ സംഭവം ഉണ്ടാകുന്നത്.
The fire originated in the kitchen of one of the lower floors of the 6-story building housing more than 100 Indians.
This is a video we are taking from the Kuwait site in Maghaf, where this all accident happened in around 4:30 to 5 o'clock, and around 49 people have been reported dead, and 43 have been admitted. So presently the investigation is going on.
Minister of State External Affairs Kirti Vardhan Singh is in Kuwait to oversee assistance operations for those injured and coordinate the early repatriation of the mortal remains of those who perished.
The situation is that the victims are mostly burn victims, and some of the bodies have been charred beyond recognition. So a DNA test is underway to identify the victims, and Air Force plane is on the ready, and as soon as the bodies are identified, their kin will be informed.
It's a reminder, sadly, of how much our migrant workers suffer when they go abroad hoping to make something to support their families at home. The government and the Ministry of External Affairs to do a revised immigration bill to produce provisions that will guarantee better conditions for our migrant workers.
I am assigned with the responsibility of coordinating things there because the recent data information tells us that around 24 Keralites are killed. Many are in different hospitals. They are admitted in the hospitals. So our government, the Norca Route Cell, has already established and helped us there. And also they are coordinating with the Indian embassy there.
Kuwait government accused real estate owners of violation and promised strict action.
Unfortunately, the greed of the property owners is what leads to these matters. I will call the Director of Municipalities and we will talk to the property owners. Any property violation will be removed early morning. Either the property owner removes it himself or I will give instructions to the municipality to remove them.
The focus of the government right now is helping the injured and bringing back the mortal remains of those who died. Bureau Report, India Today.
And I want to go across to India Today's Shibi Mall, joining us live from Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. Owais Khan is live with us from Kuwait. Owais, quickly coming to you first. The Indian government has sent a Minister of State, to take stock of the situation and coordinate help for the victims and their families in Kuwait. Could you give us a sense of what the current situation there is right now?
Yes, today in the morning, the state minister came here and he visited the hospital, Jabir Hospital, where he visited 6 patients. So they are all in improved conditions. Now what is happening is they have identified around 45 people who are Indian, and 3 have been identified as a Filipino, from Philippine nationals. So that is what is there.
All right, Owais, stay with me. Shibi Mall is also with us live from Thiruvananthapuram. Shibi, the priority on the identification of many of the deceased has been completed. The families have started getting information. The priority now, of course, is on bringing the mortal remains back and ensuring the injured are getting the treatment they have. What's the update on that?
Shiv, what the government is saying is that the state government is working in coordination with the centre, and one of the requests that they have put forward before the centre is that to ensure that the mortal remains are transferred directly to Kerala itself, it reaches one of the airports in Kerala instead of taking a halt in any of the other airports. That's one request the state government has put forward, because that's the main concern the families have also been raising. The last number that the state government is giving 24, but I just spoke to Industries Minister P. Rajiv a while ago, who said that the numbers could go high, could go up to 26 to 27 is what he's saying. He said, and also some of the injured, like around 7 of the injured are very critical, is also what the government sources are telling. State Health Minister Veena George will be travelling to Kuwait with the National Health Mission, the State Health Mission Director, to coordinate the activities, to work in coordination with the centre, because there are a lot of Malayalis who are not just dead but also admitted to various hospitals. She will be travelling as she's the minister in charge of Pathanamthitta district, and most of the deaths reported in Kerala are natives of Pathanamthitta district. So very, very tragic incident. Some of the families were saying that some of them got to know about the death news by seeing the photographs on various media platforms. So very tragic news coming in, with more than around 25, 26 people coming. A lot of them from Kerala itself.
Shibi, keep tracking that story. We will keep coming back to you. And on India Today's behalf, I'd like to express our deepest condolences to the families that have lost people in this horrible, horrible fire. Hopefully, accountability will be fixed. Owais and Shibi, thank you very much for joining me on. And it's the big update in the NEET exam controversy. Some are seeing it as some relief for NEET aspirants on the big issue of grace marks that were given to many, inflating the number of people who hit the All India rank #1. Today, following an uproar, the National Testing Agency informed the Supreme Court that they are cancelling the scorecards of 1,563 candidates and will conduct a retest. Here's a detailed report, but first look at this graphic that shows you just how un-NEET this year's NEET has actually been because of those grace marks and because of lack of transparency. Look at the number of people at the number 1 position suddenly this year.
After the nationwide protest over distorted rank list in the medical entrance exam, the National Testing Agency has started the firefight. The NTA informed the Supreme Court on Thursday that grace marks awarded to 1,563 students in NEET undergraduate exams will be cancelled. The NTA says it will scrap the scorecards for the 1,563 candidates. The retest will be offered to these candidates with an option for them to opt out if they prefer. Those opting out will receive their original scores without any grace marks. Results from the May 5th exam for retest takers will be disregarded. The retest is tentatively scheduled for June 23rd. The retest results expected to be released before June 30th will not affect the counselling scheduled for July 6th.
We have given the examination with our full confidence and we have scored good marks. 650 is really good score, but still we are not able to get medical college. How is this fair?
Students who weren't approached by the court, to the High Court or Supreme Court, they didn't get the justice. Many students cannot afford to go to Supreme Court or High Court. We also demand that they should open a window so that the students who have suffered from time lapse should again approach and write a re-exam.
The NEET UG exams this year were hit by several controversies. 67 aspirants had got All India rank 1, 6 of them from the same exam centre in Faridabad. According to sources, after the cancellation of grace marks, 61 students have first rank now. The number of first rank holders is still very high, as in the past, this figure has never touched double digits.
आज एनटीए 7 दिन बाद खुद एग्री कर रहा है ग्रेस नंबर कॉन्सेप्ट सही नहीं है, तो किस बेसिस पे दिया था? और क्या इसके सिवा और भी बहुत कुछ उन्होंने किया है जो पब्लिक डोमेन में नहीं आया, क्योंकि ग्रेस नंबर भी उन्होंने बताया नहीं. 719 का स्कोर हम लोग ने पकड़ा तब उन्होंने बताया. तो क्या एनटीए की एक बार ऑडिट नहीं होनी चाहिए पूरी उनके डेटा की कि और कितनी डिस्पेरेंसीज है जब ग्रेस नंबर को आज एग्री कर रहे हैं? उन बच्चों को अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिली जो माननीय हाईकोर्ट नहीं पहुंच पाए ये कहने के लिए कि हमारे समय का नुकसान हुआ है. सिर्फ उनको मिला जो माननीय हाईकोर्ट गए.
Many aspirants had also claimed question paper leak, but Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan had dismissed those charges.
पेपर लीक की हमारे पास कोई जानकारी नहीं है. मैंने उस रीट पिटीशन को अनुध्यान कराया. कोई भी एक भी जगह पे प्रमाण नहीं है. एक एलिगेशन पेपर लीक हुआ है, कहाँ है प्रमाण हुआ है? कोर्ट उसको विचार करेगी, सरकार अपना पक्ष रखेगी. वो कोर्ट में 8 जुलाई को चर्चा भी होगी. वो कोर्ट के सामने है.
The Congress is demanding an investigation.
We demand a Supreme Court monitored investigation into this entire scandal which has affected around 24 lakh students.
While the row over grace marks appears to be settled, the Supreme Court on Thursday issued notice on charges of paper leak and other irregularities. The top court has reaffirmed that it will not halt the NEET UG 2024 counselling process.
The government has once again clarified through the Education Minister that there is no information of a paper leak. In fact, it was an impersonation case that was being seen in Bihar. But the opposition continues to clamp down on the government, saying that all those students who have not received the opportunity to come to the Supreme Court and give their petitions are still left out of the loop when it comes to those students who are now being given an option for a retest. So what about the rest? And should the NTA perhaps look at a larger framework to accommodate all those students who appeared for the NEET this time? With Ajit Kumar, Milan Sharma for India Today.
I only have a few minutes on the show, but I wanted to get you a voice of someone we haven't gotten so far on our coverage. The parents of NEET aspirants. Keshav Karunakar is a parent of a NEET aspirant. We're also joined by Nidhi and Milan, who've been tracking the story very closely. Mr. Karunakar, thank you for your time and for speaking with us. Very quickly, your reaction to what the NTA has announced today, sir, the scrapping of grace marks and the announcement of a retest. How would you react to that?
Thanks you. I can tell you that this is not the solution. I'm not happy with this. And whatever grace marks Supreme Court has told or government has told, this was going to happen. The crux of the problem is not there. Everybody is talking about rank inflation, crying wolf. Let me give you the solution of rank inflation. And to start with, let's have the rank number 1. Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Please continue, sir. I can hear you, Mr. Karunakar. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So rank number 1, we have today 61 people. Actually, 17 people got the rank number 1 by answering all the question correct. And 44 people got answered by having false answer, right? Now, the justification, these 44 people have got because of 0.005% of students going to the NTA, claiming that there is a confusion in the question and we should get up marks for this. There is no confusion in the question. What is the question and what is the right answer? The physics experts can answer. But I can tell you the justification that is given is that new book has atom of most element and old book has atom of each element. I have book with me, National Television, I'm telling you, this is the new book, page number 303, atom of most element. This is published in 2022. And this is an old book I have, which is published in 2019.
Right.
This has atom of most element. 5 years old book has the same information.
So, Mr. Karunakar, what is the, in one line, what is the solution? In one line, what is the solution?
I'll tell you, solution is that NTA should declare result only on original OMR sheet. No grace marks, no bonus marks.
Okay.
If we remove these 44 people from the top, 75% rank inflation will go up. That is the solution. We cannot give NTA any chance to go back and do a result with grace marks and this one. And I'm telling you, because I have experience of conducting 200 test engineering colleges, having campus on OMR seat, and I know how things work. So we cannot give any chance to NTA
is there any chance of that happening? The announcement that's been made today by the NTA, is there any chance of a rethink even further than that?
It has to. I have put
Sir, I'm just bringing in Milan, my colleague.
So, Shiv, shortly, what Mr. Karunakar's problem here is that he's talking about the physics key, which we have, asked for clarity from NTA. NTA is saying that all those students who got bonus marks due to loss of time will now not get the grace marks. But the question of the physics key still remains, where extra marks were given to those who attempted that particular question of physics related to atom. So what Mr. Karunakar is saying that remove all those marks and then give the scorecard. And that is something that the NTA perhaps would not do, because in the previous exams also, many a times there were extra marks given due to incorrect answer key or incorrect answer key for not just one but 2 questions. And that would perhaps reduce the number of toppers that have come right now, 67. So that is one solution that he's saying, but NTA has not given any clarification on this shit.
Okay, the NTA has not given clarification on it, but students are not happy. They're not going to be satisfied with this, Nidhi. You've been speaking to students and their parents. What are they expecting now? Because the NTA, you heard the education minister also say no leak. The matter, he gave the impression that with this announcement, the matter is closed. But the controversy will remain then, Nidhi.
Yes. Firstly, the matter is far from closed and the battle far from being won, which is, being in the headlines right now. Because now the question that is being most asked is, what about those students who could not afford going to the court? What about those students who could not spend a hefty amount of money on hiring lawyers or taking legal advice on the matter? It could be a farmer's son, it could be a laborer's daughter. So what about those students? So in the larger picture, we have many questions unanswered even now. What about those students? And plus, we have issues like paper leak, which are very cleverly maybe being, sidelined in the bigger picture. Allegations of paper leak. There were arrests in Bihar, Patel. Let's not forget that. There was action in Godhra. There was Savai Madhopur, Rajasthan. There were activities being taken place there. But we have no answers from the NTA. And like I said, what about those students who could not move forward? This is a major question being posed.
Okay. The case is far from over. Students and parents, like we've just shown you, are not satisfied with what has been announced. Will the NTA still take that on advisement? We'll have to wait and see. But as promised, India Today continues to keep the spotlight on the NEET story and the welfare of students. Thank you, Mr. Karunakar, Nidhi and Milan, for joining me with that big update. We've got some breaking news coming in now. And there's yet another big news break follow-up on the Pune Porsche case. The glare has intensified, according to our ground reporters, on Pune MLA Sunil Tingre of the Ajit Pawar NCP. The man who paid off the doctors for the blood swab to mask the blood alcohol of the underage Porsche driver Ashfaq Makandar. The man identified as Ashfaq Makandar was apparently seen with this MLA, Tingre, at the police station. He was present at the police station with Pune NCP MLA Sunil Tingre, according to India Today's Omkar Wable, a reporter on the ground. Ashfaq Makandar, as we've been reporting to you, is an individual who apparently received a call before reaching the Sassoon hospital. A phone call was made between Makandar and Dr. Ajay Taware, remember, the head of forensics at Sassoon hospital, who has since been arrested for indulging in accepting a bribe in order to swap the blood. Now, the man who apparently physically made the payoff on the premises of the Juvenile Justice Board, as we told you yesterday, was seen at the police station with Sunil Tingre, the Pune MLA. Now, we are not directly casting any aspersions, but what was this man doing with the MLA at the police station, as is being reported by India Today's Omkar Wable, who joins us live. Omkar, Ashfaq Makandar is the man who carried the 3 lakh rupees and paid it to, the Sassoon hospital ward boy on the premises of the, Juvenile Justice Board. This same man, Ashfaq Makandar, according to your report, was seen with MLA Sunil Tingre at the police station. What is that connection? Omkar, can you hear me? I'm going to try and get a link going with the Omkar on this story. Omkar, can you hear me? Let's get Omkar on the phone because we need him on this story. Big questions, the glare intensifying on Sunil Tingre, the MLA in Pune. Apparently, the man who made the payoff, the 3 lakh rupee payoff, was seen with Sunil Tingre at the police station. Now, that in itself does not implicate him, that does not suggest anything, but it raises questions because of what it may imply overall with this investigation. Sunil Tingre, remember, is part of the NCP under Ajit Pawar. He's the Pune MLA. He was at that police station. He has since clarified, saying he was only there to make sure that the law did its job. But many questions, including within his party, have been raised about what possible role he may have played or not played. That remains the matter of investigation. It's not for us to judge, but it is for us to raise these questions, as it was India Today that continued to highlight this story.